Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust, episode 642. Welcome back indeed. Welcome back indeed. I've gotta stretch my legs out. Get ready to walk again. Right, Wolfie? Right? We're still a little bit out of practice. Still a little bit disoriented and confused about what the heck we're actually doing here. But yeah, this is episode 2 of season 7. I hope what is that? A little sapling over there just hanging out? Just hanging out on a little island. Well done, little sapling boy. Hoping this comes out on Saturday, June Saturday, June 10th, 2017. As we grab Wolfie, we secured the hidey hole and are going to, why not, make some boats to continue west in our journey to the far lands here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Thank you very much for all the kind words and comments and welcome back-situdes that we got on the last episode, the return of Season 7. That's much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Did I just see a sheep disappear? Did I see a sheep and then stop seeing a sheep? Is this something that just happened? Was that a mirage? Are we growing weary and disoriented in our journey to the far lands? I'm very confused. But yeah, we are continuing on, and once again, thank you very much for the warm welcome back. A lot of comments, many comments on that last episode, and hopefully we can keep things up here and keep getting right back at it and towards these far lands. Of course, like I mentioned in the last episode, we don't have a charity fundraiser goal set up for Far Lands or Bust quite yet. There will be for season 7. Worry not. So in the meantime, go check out Zeldathon if it is still going on, which it should be, I believe, at least at this time of recording. It is. Zeldathon.net. They are helping out the Wild Foundation. And of course, our good friend MC Gamer and others who are part of that crew have been, since the beginning, a pretty good inspiration and source of knowledge, a source of knowledge and inspiration and just information about how to run a good gaming fundraiser charity. And yeah, send your appreciation that way while we're just working through a bunch of questions from the Flobathon, as well as a few leftover from last season when we were raising money for Child's Play charity here, and really just getting, like I said, our legs have perhaps grown a bit atrophied, not having been walking for about 5 months. So we've got a... Ooh, is that some free iron? That's some free iron under a mushroom. Have a seat there, Wolfie. This might be dangerous. Let's go grab this free iron. Because we need it. Because our tools are in disrepair. Yoink. Any more free iron? No? No? Is that it? Alright. That's fine. I'll take it. I will, however, replace that mushroom. It can carry on its business. Indeed. Of course, one of those things is the technical aspect of recording Far Lands or Bust. In the last episode, I was a bit disappointed that my microphone audio was significantly clipped. And what I mean by that is that the volume was too loud and it was distorting at the highest volumes. I'm actually switching things up a bit. I've always recorded. We started recording with Fraps, and then I switched to DxTory. But now I'm trying to record with OBS. I've grown quite accustomed to OBS, as I've now concentrated a lot more on streaming versus video recording. So now I'm recording with OBS. This is your first Far Lands or Bust episode to be recorded with OBS. Of course, it helps because I have my microphone set up for streaming, and OBS has a built-in compressor that stops such audio anomalies from taking place. Maybe not stops, prevents prevent such things, so hopefully the audio is a little bit more balanced and less overblown, and perhaps it's only something that I see when I'm editing, because I'm pretty critical of myself. But hopefully that works out all right. Hopefully the video works out all right. Also, and again, I did this, I think, with the first episode of Season 6. Hello, Otherwolf. How are you? We're going to the Farlands. I did this with the first episode of Season 6, when YouTube introduced 60 frames per second videos. I did an episode of Farlands Bust at 60 frames per second, and I did it again for the last episode. I seem to get more complaints about the jitteriness at 60 frames versus 30 frames, so I've switched back to recording in 30 frames. This isn't a high-tech, next-gen, fast-paced first-person shooter with all these special effects that need to be captured in 60 frames per second. So I think 30 frames is good enough. It also saves me quite a deal of hard drive space. That last episode was like 12 gigs once it was fully rendered. It also took like 4 hours to render. So 30 frames should hopefully help me out with the space on my PC. Farlands Bust is the only series that I keep local copies of the originals. I keep the masters, if I can use a recording industry term. I keep the masters of Farlands Bust. Every single episode, all 642 episodes and Flobathons, I keep in an archive spewed over many, many, many terabytes. So I gotta always keep in mind that, I'm going to want to keep a local copy and then a second local copy because they get backed up to my network storage, which is very quickly filling up, and I will need to extend the size of soon. So disk space is always an issue for me. I don't know why, but I just felt like grabbing a singular piece of coal there. I noticed my torches are getting low, and we'll have to cook this iron soon, so yeah, hopefully we've resolved any technical issues in that regard. Speaking of Zeldathon, also you've noticed that I went back and I started using the pop logo intro screen. Everybody said that they missed that last season, although everybody enjoyed Terraforest's logo that we used last season, and maybe we'll come up with a new logo for this season once we actually kind of get it underway with a charity or something. But for now, enjoy your pop every time I say welcome back to Farlands Bust. Indeed. So yeah, I think I might as well. I noticed in the last episode, it was a long episode, of course. We're going to stick to a 3 Minecraft day episode. It's not helping too much that I've been walking in the wrong direction for an undetermined amount of time. That might have just happened. I feel like that just happened. Because I was walking this way, I saw that brown sheep, and I think I accidentally took a left turn here. So I think we maybe only walked left south for maybe about 10 blocks. We could do with moving south a little bit, since we moved way too far north, I feel. 24,000 blocks at the last F3 number, right? So yeah. Oh, that's what I was saying. I thought in the last episode, still not being, I just did it right now, actually, too. Not being completely in practice with recording Farlands Bust, all the thoughts I had started. I had specific things I wanted to say. Ooh, more free iron. Have a seat. I had specific things I wanted to say, specific topics I wanted to express, and I started about 6 of those, but never actually concluded. I just kept getting distracted either by the game or just like train of thought derailed. So I'm gonna try a little bit better at that. There's Wolfie. Starting with the fact that I'm just gonna answer a lot of these questions that were left over. A lot of these were from the Flobathon. A lot of them perhaps even referenced the Flobathon. Some, but not many, but I think a few were either donations that came in during the hiatus, during the season break, or perhaps were even leftovers from the previous season. To which I apologize if you've been waiting for your question to be answered. Thank you for your donation to Child's Play charity, but we're working on it. There's just so much demand and so little time So yeah, I'll do that in the morning here. Let's get into a nice sunset view, why don't we? Build an elevated hidey hole. And then continue on in the morning. And awakeness. And to make sure you're walking, lessness. Speaking of make sure you're walking in a certain direction, I purchased a compass, like a real compass, for myself, for my hiking expeditions. I don't know how to use it, other than to say, oh, in that general direction is north. But I don't, I also don't, I don't do any backcountry hiking. I'm not off the trails or anything like that. But it was a list of like the 10 things you should always carry, like first aid kits. You should always carry a compass. You should always carry some sort of fire starting apparatus. Always carry this much water for this many miles or whatever, just in case you do happen to get lost off the trail and abandoned in the wilderness. So I bought a compass. Like I said, I don't know how to use it. Like, there's declination stuff you got to do to zero it right for your location. There's definite mapping techniques. There is wilderness mapping. There are classes. Perhaps I should take a class for wilderness survival mapping, navigating, or something like that, where you use like rulers and waypoints to determine your location on a topographic map to read properly. But yeah, I just thought of that when I looked at the compass, Far Lines of Bus compass. But anyway, let's answer one of these questions. This one from Victor Dahl. Thank you very much for that donation. Quite a few months ago. Ooh, look at this view. But Victor asks, if you wouldn't be a content creator on YouTube and Twitch, what would you do? Also, do you have plans for any new Let's Plays on your channel? I would like to get started on YouTube. Some advice in terms of programs to record or edit videos. Hope you had a good New Year. Happy New Year, everybody, in June. And I hope we'll meet in the future. Well, I am planning on going to PAX West. I'm planning on going to TwitchCon. Not sure what else is happening. But if you're at any of those, certainly keep an eye out. Always enjoy meeting Farlanders. And as far as like advice for programs to record and edit, all that information is either on my website, the About page at farlandersbus.com, or there's so many YouTube videos, there's so many articles. Like I just said right here, this is the first time I'm attempting to use OBS. OBS is free. I use DxTory. I use Fraps. Fraps, I haven't kept up with it, but last I remember, the last time Fraps was updated was like 2013, 2014, something like that. Which is why a lot of people moved on to DxTory. But yeah, I won't get into the technical side of things, because I'm still figuring, it's one of those things that over the course of 6 years, I'm still tweaking and understanding and trying to figure out the best way to do things. I'm always talking about how, I wish I could do this with my mixer, or multi-PC streaming, or be able to monitor my microphone better, or whatever. It's not something that you can just be told in an afternoon and then get it and be done with it. It's something as a creator you practice, and you get a new piece of equipment or this or that, and it completely changes everything, and maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, I don't know. But as far as what I would be doing if I wasn't a content creator, I have no idea. And that question terrifies me. Oh, it does indeed. I suppose if I wasn't a content creator, I probably would have continued being a graphic designer, a web designer. Possibly. I wasn't particularly happy with that. So I don't know what other sort of things would have come along as opportunities in my career. But now that I have been and am a content creator for 6 years, what would I do, or will I do, when perhaps it stops being fruitful for living? a life and paying rent and utilities and buying food and having health insurance and stuff like that? I don't know. And like I said, that kind of terrifies me. And I've mentioned this many times. I remember at the first Minecon I attended in Paris, talking with Seth Bling, like, oh, we don't know, I don't know what I would do after this. He, of course, was a programmer for a long time before he went full-time into the content creation thing. And even now he says he's kind of semi-retired at that. He's just doing stuff for fun, really, and going that way. But, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I certainly don't think I could go back to being a graphic designer. Both, A, because I don't find it interesting anymore. I find it interesting. Don't let me say that. Certainly, if you're a graphic designer and you've kept up with it, there's certainly, I'm very interested in design, and it's always a terrible feeling to see bad design, but a very good feeling to see good design and be like, oh, that's really cool, or that's a great typeface, or that's blah, blah, blah. Good, well done on that kerning. But yeah, I don't think I could go back for that, but also because I haven't kept up with the technology. I recently got the latest Adobe Creative Suite, and I am not happy. I just want to go back. I have been using Adobe CS4 for the past 6 years. I've been using and been doing it for my job, making thumbnails and my website and things like that. I just think I don't have those skills anymore. I simply do not have those skills with the latest software and technology. Even though, you know, I wouldn't be able to get a job. I wouldn't be able to get a job at all, I don't think. So that's out the door. I suppose a lot of our friends, you may have noticed, are being hired, perhaps, or joining the teams of various similar services. You know, like Aurelian has certainly been working with Twitch for a while, and a lot of our other friends are now working for Mixer and Microsoft and those sort of brands, either in like managerial or consulting terms or partnerships. Wolfie, I want you to spawn on the land here, please. There you are. All right. Yeah, this is a bit harrowing. I don't want Wolfie to spawn under the ice. I don't, maybe, I don't know. That's always a possibility. Or for like a video game developer, publisher, work in like community sort of stuff, maybe. I don't know. That's a tough call for me. I'm personally somewhat skeptical of these big. Look at all these cows. A herd of cows. I want them to start walking like in everything, where they just flop over their heads. I'm a little bit skeptical of these big companies, Microsoft's, Amazon's, Twitch's, Apple's, even like SpaceX and Tesla and things like that. There's certainly a growing sentiment that they, while all the neat and interesting technologies and good things they might do, it seems to be on the backs of a very young and very motivated and perhaps even very desperate young employees. You know, working them to the bone, whether or not they be as employees or simply as consultants. You know what I mean? It's the gig economy, as it's not affectionately called. Kind of the Uber mentality that, oh, just are the Fiverr, is that the really, don't, you know, that's a dumb stupid website where, you know, oh, it's gotta work all night, gotta do this or that, or never sleep, and I see that sometimes, and I'm concerned sometimes about my friends, and I'm asking them, are you getting paid overtime? Are you getting incredibly well compensated for all this stuff you're doing for this XYZ company? Are they treating you right? And perhaps I'm cynical. Perhaps I'm kind of, I don't want to say anti-establishment, but I'm kind of I tend not to I tend to rally for the little guy, I guess, like, is what I could say. big conglomerates and the people I know who have worked or do work for these sort of large companies know that they thrive on the high turnaround. And oh, okay, we burned out, you know, we burned out the class of 2004. Let's hire some fresh new babies from the class of 2006, 2 years later, sort of thing. That's a bit concerning for me. And perhaps my thoughts on that may prevent me from obtaining such employment, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what I want. but that also limits the possibilities of what I could do if not for this. So I'm trying my dangdest to keep this working for me. This is gonna be a high impact, weather resistant, elevated hidey hole right here. If I do say so myself, and I do. Bloop. Yeah, I have no idea. And I think that's been my answer every time somebody asks me this. So I'm gonna keep trying, and that's why I'm... Let's go to sleep. I'll continue in the morning. And awakeness. Right, Wolfie? You need a treat. It's been a while since we fed you a treat. I don't think you need a treat, and I might accidentally eat this, but bloop. There you go. Enjoy. What was I saying? Dang it. Derailed. Oh, and it's a reason why I'm trying to keep this working. And certainly if I was still... Oh, more free iron. Don't mind if I do. A little bit dangerous, but more free iron. I've been certainly trying... Oh, Cavalovi! I just fed you a treat, and you just wasted it by taking damage there. You noodle? You dang noodle? Now we're trapped. Alright, come on up here. You know, certainly if I was still trying to depend on YouTube, that wouldn't have worked out, and I may have needed a full-time job by now. Which is why I started Patreon, and now why I'm certainly pushing Twitch more and more, which I understand has been a positive and negative sentiment here on YouTube. For people who maybe just depend or just watch YouTube videos, I'm sorry, I think. And again, like I said in the last episode, I don't want to say sorry, but, you know, it's just kind of the way things work and the way I'm trying my dangdest to keep this working. Keep this being the thing I do, because I don't know what else to do. Help. But yeah, I'm doing my dangdest to keep this working, and that means perhaps focusing on places where it is working and where I do see the numbers going up instead of down, and I do see an energized community of and an audience and another community of people who are my friends and colleagues who are also finding success in these places. So I want to join them there and those sort of things. So yeah, thank you very much for that question, though. Let's see here. Here we go. Zophius. Given the opportunity to travel to Mars, would you go? Assume that a return to Earth is not possible. If you knew that, you could contribute to science or other fields in a meaningful way by doing so. Would you make a difference? You know my answer to this. If the doorbell rings and it's SpaceX or NASA or whoever saying, we gotta go to Mars and you're coming with us, I'd be already in the car before they could finish asking me the question. Yes, although certainly as of late, with the changes in my life and the fact that sometimes it feels like I have left home for Mars, or I was separated from everybody in Arizona or here in Seattle or whatever, it would not be easy. It perhaps wouldn't be as cut and dry, as enthusiastic as I am in the hypothetical. Perhaps because I know it's not possible for me to ever even travel to space, let alone to Mars. I just say yes because, yes, you know, since I know there's zero chance ever in my life of that happening for me, yes, give me any chance I can. But perhaps faced with an actual decision like that, Perhaps not so cut and dry. Perhaps not so cut and dry. But yeah, I think it would be... I wouldn't even call it a sacrifice. I do believe it would be a worthwhile achievement if I was going for some betterment of science or humanities or progress. That would make a good hidey hole right there, but we're not ready for one yet. Certainly, those would be strong motivations. I would hope it would not be a solo tour. That's the thing that I'm starting to realize is not good for my old brain spaces. Must have the human contact. That is what makes us human after all. It would not be such a human achievement if it was just one person by themselves going all that way. We are a social creature. And our society depends on such things as these, as cooperation and communication and all those other Asians, vacations. No, yes, no. So yeah, that would it would be a tougher call than I comedically always answer this question. And everybody, whenever my doorbell rings while I'm streaming or whatever, and I don't come back right away, they're like, "It's NASA. He's gone. He's going to Mars." Certainly, just going to space. Like, oh, you want to just test out the new Dragon capsule and do a few orbits and return back? Sure, yes. I am on board. Let's do that thing right now. Let us do it. And one of the, speaking of YouTubers and inspirations and things, Simone Yates, who is the queen of shitty robots, pardon my French, but that is her title. Recently did a YouTube series on her channel that was Send Simone to Space, where apparently she really wants to go to space. And since she realizes that that's probably not at all ever possible, she made this series where she started her own space program and like sat in a chair and spun around a lot of times, or went to one of those carnival things that spin you around. And then as the climax of the series went on the 0G flight, the parabolic flights where you get to experience weightlessness, as trying to get to space as close as you possibly can. That's probably the same attitude I have. It's like, yes, I would just once, please, just once. I know it's not at all possible ever. The time has passed for old Kurt J. Mac to be an astronaut, and I was recently asked by a friend, like, oh, what did you want to be when you grew up? You know, as you know, we all change those sorts of things throughout our lives. I for the longest time wanted to be a pilot, and was even considering and wanting to join the Air Force. Certainly if I had decided that and had become a pilot, that would have been a much easier path to becoming an astronaut. A lot of astronauts are Air Force or Navy pilots, test pilots. Certainly a lot of them are scientists and are geologists or physical sciences or things like that, engineers even. But a lot of them are pilots, and a lot of the requirements to become an astronaut is to have flying experience. And it's less about, I think it's less about being an actual pilot and piloting an aircraft or a spacecraft. Less so than with the space shuttle. Certainly the space shuttle needed pilots. But it's more about procedures. As a pilot, there's a bunch of procedures and checklists and problem solving on literally on the fly. Jokes. Communication, you know, discipline with comms and procedure and you know, falling back on instinct, not instinct, but the instinct that's been trained into you. Look at all these pumpkins. This is a healthy patch of pumpkins. I think that's more of it. And they recently just did announce 12, the new astronaut class. There's always new astronaut classes of applicants. I think they had 18,000 applicants this time, the most of any new astronaut class, and they brought it down to 12. And it's always, you know, these 12 astronauts were just announced, but we probably won't hear about them going to space for maybe another decade or so. Maybe another 8 to 10 years, depending on what sort of things transpired for crewed spaceflight for NASA. But yeah, all the astronauts get trained, if not already, how to fly the T-38. Is it the T-38 aircraft? It's the training aircraft that all astronauts use. Single-engine jet aircraft. But yeah, certainly if I had decided to be a pilot, I would have been on that path, perhaps. And certainly maybe if I'd decided to study the sciences more so than the arts, I would have been on that path. This here is a good waterfall. Speaking of waterfalls, well done, Minecraft. Ooh, and then it goes right into an underground lake. Well done. Proper geologic topography right here, my friends. Let's maybe make our end of the episode hidey hole near this magical place. If I can find a proper hillside to do so in. I hear spoilers, so this might not be a proper hillside. Might not be a proper hillside at all. Let's have a seat, Wolfie. Let's see if this isn't safe for us to make a hidey hole in. Seems safe-ish. Sort of. Those spoilers, though. So yeah, thank you very much for these questions. Like I said, I got quite a few more to get through, and I do appreciate everybody's welcome back to the series. Oops, shovel broke. I do need some new tools here. Speaking of which, I will make a furnace while we wait. And I will smelt this iron while we round out the end of this episode. And I guess I can, yeah, we're making more iron. I guess I can use this to make a shovel. Indeed, it's a little bit weird. Normally at this time I'm like, go to farlandsofus.com to donate. No, go to zeldathon.net to donate if you haven't already, or just check out that show, right, Wolfie? Indeed. And make sure you check if you have time, if you are of the... Oh no, I don't have enough. I need wool. Okay, note to self. Don't forget to get wool in the next episode. Don't forget to, if you are able to perhaps at some point check out the live streams, you can follow me on Twitch or follow me on Twitter is when I normally announce. I often forget to upload a video here on YouTube as to when I'm going live. So make sure you if you want to be notified to check those situations out and can enjoy such things as that. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and will continue to enjoy this season of Far Lands of Bust. Thank you everybody for your support and for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.